What's up everyone? Today I'm behind the wheel of my 2017 Toyota Tacoma TRD Offroad. As I'm making this video, I'm at 2,792 miles on this truck. I've absolutely loved every mile that I've driven this truck, and today I'm going to go over 5 things that I absolutely love about my Toyota Tacoma. Also, if you guys missed the hate video that I did on this truck, a link to that video will be in the description below, along with information on how to get a Bros for Speed decal. So first up on this list is the looks of this truck. Now, when this generation first came out, I wasn't a huge fan of the front end. It was very controversial to a lot of people with the size of the grille and just how it looked. And honestly, after seeing it and now owning one, it has grown on me. The chrome, however, I'm not a huge fan of. I would like to change that up in the near future here. But other than that, I absolutely love the front end. You know, the bumper is tucked up nicely. It has a really good approach angle compared to the previous generations. The rest of the proportions of the truck look equally as great. I love the short bed on this truck much better. I like the styling of it. I think it looks a lot more proportional with the double cab. And then there have been some things that I've changed on the exterior looks of the truck. Big thing is the matte black vinyl wrap that I did. I think what I love about that the most is the tailgate. Just making it with that black and bringing the blue letters out. I think that's really cool. But again, just the whole exterior of this truck, I love all the dimensions of it. I think it looks really good. Moving on to number 2 is the interior of the truck. So let's take that great looking exterior. Let's move on to the inside. I think for me, the biggest thing that I like is the center screen. Now, obviously that's common in a lot of vehicles nowadays, but coming from my 2007, I just had a little screen, you know, with the clock, if the radio was on and off, things like that. So I really like the layout of the center screen. Everything is so simple to use, and you're definitely not going to confuse yourself with which button you're pushing and what function it's going to do. Everything is laid out very well. Steering wheel is wrapped in leather, has a really good feel to it. I think it's a little bit oversized for the truck, but it's never really hindered me, especially like off-road. I like to have my seat much closer just so I have a little bit better control. And then moving on to the seats, you only get one option to choose from the seats unless you get the TRD Pro, which I'll touch base on that later in this video. I like the cloth in these. I'm not a real big fan of the leather, but the design in these seats look really nice. You know, they're comfortable. You don't need aggressive bolsters or anything. You sit really well in these seats. And then just overall, everything else, it looks like a premium feeling truck. And for the price that you're paying for this truck, I would expect that. You know, I like all of these little touches on the dash. It runs throughout all the AC controls. But other than that, I think this interior is well laid out. You know, it's not over the top in luxury, which I'm not looking for. You know, this is a pickup truck. This is something that's meant to go off-road. Along with that, you have the all-weather floor mats, so you don't have to worry about them getting as dirty. Moving on to number 3 is the off-road capabilities in this truck, especially in the stock form. Hopefully you guys have already seen those videos. I'll have some down below in the description. In the just under 3,000 miles that I've had this truck, I've already taken it off-road. It's been a blast so far. Of course, the lift and tire, when those parts come in, will be even more capable off-road, but in the stock form, it's crazy how capable this is. Now again, I am comparing this to my 2007 because I took that off-road all the time. Most of its life it had a 3-inch lift, so comparing a 3-inch lift on the second generation to stock form on this generation, this just outperforms it in every way. Again, the departure angle and the approach angle are very, very good. Everything is tucked up very nicely. I think the biggest or the coolest factor of off-roading in the Tacoma is the crawl control. You can't get that with every model. The TRD Sport does not offer it. You have to get the off-road or the Pro. A lot of people think that's kind of cheating when you use that. I really like it. You know, I don't use it all the time, but if you're really stuck, especially using the stock tires, it definitely helps with limited wheel spin, which is obviously really good. Of course, going aftermarket tires, I may not have to use it as much, but for right now, it's worked well in the stock form using the stock tires. I have the locking rear diff, which obviously helps. A lot of you guys helped me in my hate video on using that. I really wish you could use that in 2-wheel drive, just kind of like a limited slip in a way. But I'm perfect on how to use that now. Obviously 4 low, you have to be in, it works great, everything about it. 4th up on the list is comparing my truck to the TRD Pro. If you follow Toyota, you know that the Tacoma TRD Pro is the best top-of-the-line Tacoma that you can get. It comes with all of the off-road features, all of the technology features, and leather seats as well. So if I had the tech package on my TRD Offroad, that would be more of a comparison, but I don't. And so basically what I'm doing comparing to that is that I have a more affordable TRD Pro. So the truck that I'm in right now costs about 10 grand less than the TRD Pro. When you get the TRD Pro, you get the sunroof, everything else that I just mentioned, you get the leather seats, you get the upgraded suspension too. You get the Fox Racing tuned suspension. It gives you another inch of ground clearance over my truck. It also gives you a little bit better wheel travel. So obviously you're paying for all of those features, especially the suspension, since it gives you a little bit more off-road capabilities. And I'm basically getting the TRD Pro without all of those options that I didn't want. So I didn't need a sunroof, I didn't need the blind spot monitoring or the backup beepers. I still have the backup camera with the rear view camera in the center screen. I don't have the leather seats, which really wasn't a must for me. The biggest thing that I still have that the TRD Pro has is the crawl control. So really, I'm looking to lift this truck, do a whole bunch of things to it. That $10,000 difference from getting a TRD Pro is going into all of those modifications. So if you're not looking to modify the truck at all, you want good off-road capabilities, you might put a little bit beefier tires on the truck, the TRD Pro is definitely for you. So really for me, getting this TRD Offroad without the tech pack saved me a whole bunch of money. I still have the crawl control. I have everything on the interior that I want, customize it more the way I like it, rather than getting a TRD Pro, ripping out that great suspension that it has, and putting in something else. So number 5 on this list, I really couldn't come up with just one thing to add for number 5. So I'm just gonna go over the little things that I like about this truck since I've owned it for the last 3,000 miles. And those things include like the locking tailgate on the rear. I know that's common on a lot of pickup trucks. I had to install an aftermarket one on my 2007, so that's why I really like it on this truck. Especially with the tonneau cover, just gives me a little bit more security in using the bed. Next up is the angle meter that you can see on the inside or the center screen when you're off-roading. The last off-roading trip we did, it was especially crucial for us to have that, maxing out that meter at about probably 30, 35, maybe even a little bit more. So it's really cool to see the pitch of the truck and the roll of it. Obviously that'll help you in case you go too far. Next up, you can change some of the background lighting. Now I really wish it did, the speedometer and the tach and just everything, but it just does a couple little features. It's kind of cool to be able to do that. I do kind of hate the fact that if Toyota put in that effort to make those color changes, why couldn't they just do all the lights to change? But that's something just kind of little. I don't use it that often, but it's a nice little touch. And the last thing on the list that I could think of was the light and the power outlet in the bed. So you can obviously turn that on and off. You can set it to where when you open the doors, it'll go on. And then you do have that little power outlet. I haven't used it just yet, but I'm sure when I deflate tires off-roading, I can hook up a small air compressor to that so I can easily inflate my tires again. So that's my number 5 for the list. Nothing major, just kind of little things that I've noticed here and there that I've found out as I've driven it over the last couple thousand miles. But other than that, that's everything that I love about my 2017 Toyota Tacoma. I know there were a couple things in the hate video that were kind of like nitpicky. Actually, they were very nitpicky, so there's really nothing that I don't like about this truck. It's been a fantastic daily driver so far. I've been able to haul my motorcycle in the back, both our dirt bikes when we went on our last dirt bike adventure, which you guys hopefully saw on the channel. Other than that, this is again my dream truck, the second Tacoma that I've had. I talk about that all the time. This is just, it's a phenomenal truck. It's the only pickup truck that I would ever want to own. And I can't wait for more modifications to come in the future. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. So if you like that video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. There's so many more videos to come on this truck. I have more parts on order. I have more parts planned for by the time the end of this year comes, so the truck will be looking much different. Hopefully by the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year, but I have a lot more plans for this truck and more modifications to come, so definitely stay tuned for those. Hope you guys enjoyed that video again. I will see you all next video.